Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Sunday evening, September 3, 2023. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video, share it, subscribe and tap notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a brand new video. Feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section letting me know what the weather has been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. I respond to all comments and I really live for this stuff. Alright, so let's just take a look at what the US National Hurricane Center is showing on their outlook for this evening. We can still see that we have Tropical Storm Gert and Tropical Storm Katia right there to the north of the main development region. And across the main development region, we have two areas that have a chance of development, with the one that's to the west with the most chance of development, up to 90% chance now. According to the US National Hurricane Center, it says showers and thunderstorms are showing signs of organization in association with a tropical wave located several hundred miles southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. Environmental conditions are forecast to be conducive for further development, and this system is expected to become a tropical depression in 2 or 3 days. Additional strengthening is likely late this week while the system moves westward to west-northwestward at 15 to 20 miles per hour over the central and western portions of the tropical Atlantic. And if we take a look at what the Euro and the GFS models are predicting, this is about 174 hours out on the Euro. It's valid for 18D on Sunday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Sunday. And this is where the Euro has the system, a possible hurricane strength, and it has it right there to the north of the Leeward Islands, maybe even a major hurricane by that time. What does the GFS show for this evening? If you remember yesterday's video, the GFS had it a bit south of Puerto Rico right here, just to show you that these models are continuously changing. So the Euro, as we saw, had the system more north of the Leeward Island. The GFS now has the system with a bit weaker intensity, as we can see by the pressure is a bit higher than what we saw on the Euro. The Euro had 960 something. The GFS has 980 something, so definitely going to be weaker in terms of intensity, but could be a low-end hurricane or a tropical storm. That's according to the GFS, and we see that it's located now to the north of Puerto Rico. So we have some differences in the location of the system, where it's going to be at around the same time, 1 p.m. on Sunday. So we have to continue to monitor this system, because as we can see, the models are forever changing, and it's going to be doing that up until the point it makes landfall wherever it is going. Either way, definitely some rainfall going to be in store for sections of the northeastern Caribbean in the coming weekend. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see the L associated with that area of low pressure that's possibly going to develop shortly, right there to the southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. And we can also see that we have a tropical wave right there affecting portions of Hispaniola, and we can see it even better on the visible satellite images. The clouds associated with that tropical wave right now, bringing clouds, showers and thunderstorms to sections of Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and even sections of Puerto Rico. And it is this tropical wave that's going to be responsible for bringing some amount of rainfall to sections of Jamaica on Monday. We can also see that we have the intertropical convergent zone bringing some amount of clouds, showers and thunderstorms right there to the waters east of Trinidad, and we can see that area of low pressure right there to the southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. We'll be talking more about the weather across the Caribbean later on. Let's focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for Sunday. It was stated that we would have received some rainfall across sections of northern Jamaica on Sunday afternoon. We know northern Jamaica encompasses the parishes of Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawney, St. James, Hanover. And what ended up happening? As early as 12:51 p.m., we had the visible satellite images being posted on our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook and TikTok pages, showing clouds bringing overcast skies and some isolated thunder showers to sections of Portland, so western Portland, sections of St. Mary, maybe sections of St. Anne, sections of Trelawney, St. James, Hanover. Even got in on some amount of rainfall across sections of northern St. Andrew and sections of St. Elizabeth as well. And we even had Anika confirming the rainfall, stating we got some thunder showers in Portland. And we also had another post that was made an hour or two later, highlighting the infrared satellite images showing the high cold cloud top, showing the thunder showers that we definitely had, not to mention the sparkling white dots that represent some amount of lightning flashes, if not lightning strikes, especially across sections of some northern parishes in Jamaica. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images before the sun went down, we can see that yes, we indeed had that buildup of clouds across sections of some northern parishes in Jamaica, northern St. Andrew, sections of inland areas of Portland, inland areas of Clarendon, Manchester, and sections of St. Elizabeth definitely got in on some amount of overcast skies, showers, and thunderstorms. And even at this time, with the latest infrared satellite images, let's reload the latest images at this time. We can still see that we have some amount of thunder showers still taking place across sections of Trelawney right now, right there in the last frame, those sparkling white dots, those high cold cloud tops right there as indicated by the reds, definitely getting in on some amount of evening thunder showers right now across sections of Trelawney. Some of this could spill into sections of St. James as the evening progresses. If we take a look at the Doppler radar images, the Cuban Doppler radar images that is, we do see some amount of rainfall right there across sections of some western parishes at this time. If we take a look at the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, we can see where we indeed had that rainfall, mostly confined to sections of some northern parishes in Jamaica, just as predicted, and it basically is showing what we just saw on the satellite images for today. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 27 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 28 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and as usual, as the night progresses, these temperatures should be getting lower. As relates to the temperatures for tomorrow, this map from the Euro model is showing 18D on Monday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Monday, and we see Jamaica embedded in some slight yellow shades, slight yellow colors, and we see much of the same on the GFS model as well. That represent up to 1 degree Celsius above normal temperatures. And the average temperatures, or the normal temperatures, for the month of September across Jamaica is about 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about the equivalent of 31 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving at least 32 degrees Celsius at most for Monday. So it's going to be definitely cooler than what we've been experiencing last week with those very above normal temperatures. We even got up to 3 to 4 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures for last week. Definitely going to be a welcome change for tomorrow. Taking a look at the dry air map, we can see by the key at the bottom, the dry air is represented by the yellows, then it becomes orange, then red, then the whites within those reds represents the most dry air, and we see that the most dry air is represented by the reds to the northern portion of the North Atlantic right there. Not so much dry air across sections of Jamaica, lots of blue surrounding the island, with the driest air near us across the eastern Caribbean as indicated by those yellows and orange colors. And if we take a look at the Saharan dust forecast, this is 2 p.m. on a Monday, and we do see some slight brown shades making its way into portions of Jamaica. Jamaica is located right under the word port, represents Port-au-Prince, Haiti right there. So it's right here, so we're gonna be getting in on some slight haze weather. We won't even notice it in the sky. Usually when we see the very hazy weather, you know, bringing less blue shades to the sky, that's associated with some very vigorous Saharan dust as indicated by the darker shades of browns, and we do see darker shades of browns across portions of Africa at this time. So we're indeed grateful that we're not going to be getting that robust kind of plume for Monday. As it relates to the wave forecast, we can see that Jamaica is still surrounded by some blues, with some lighter shades of blues off to the west of the island. The lighter shades of blues represent 0.5 of a meter wave heights. The darker shades of blues represent up to at least 1.5 meter wave heights. And we see the highest waves right there across the eastern portions of the island. And we see that on both the Euro and the GFS malls. And that's due to the fact that the winds will be strongest on the eastern side of the island. We see more of a southeast or east-southeast kind of flow across the island for Monday, and the winds go up to at least 15 knots at most, maybe even gusting to up to 20 knot winds. And we see that on both the Euro and the GFS malls. And what we also see is we have the darker shades of blues that represent wherever the air is going to be piling up. So we're going to be having those cumulus clouds coming in from the east southeast or the southeast, then piling up across sections of some northern parishes during the afternoon, possibly bringing some amount of overcast sky showers and thunderstorms with that daytime heating diurnal convection. And we see that on both the Euro and the GFS mall, the Euro showing more in the way of northern parishes, the GFS showing more in the way of some northwestern parishes in Jamaica. Either way, we're definitely going to be in for some amount of rainfall. And considering that there's a tropical wave, a very wet tropical wave in the area, the southeast will definitely be getting in on some amount of rainfall. So sections of St. Thomas, Portland, so the clouds associated with that tropical wave will definitely be coming off of the sea and coming right into land. And if we take a look at the wind shear forecast, we see that the Euro is showing more of a southerly kind of wind shear across the island for 1 p.m. on a Monday. GFS showing more of an easterly wind shear. Either way, whatever cloud cover takes place, they're gonna be blown off towards either the north or towards the west. We're definitely gonna be in for some amount of rainfall for tomorrow, especially across sections of some eastern parishes, which encompasses the parishes in the county of Surrey, so Portland, St. Andrew, Kingston, St. Thomas, and definitely sections of some northern parishes in Jamaica, Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, maybe even spilling into sections of Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth. If we take a look at the precipitation forecast for tomorrow, this is 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 7 a.m. Jamaica time, and we do see some blues right there across sections of some eastern parishes in Jamaica, maybe St. Thomas, Portland. We see that on the Euro model. What does the GFS show? Something similar. St. Thomas, Portland, that's where we see the blue that represents some amount of rainfall. And if we look at the 10 a.m. forecast, which is actually 9 a.m. Jamaica time, we see much of the same, even some darker shades of blue, some greens in there. So definitely some heavy rainfall, some maybe thunderstorms in there as well for sections of St. Thomas, Portland, spilling into sections of Kingston and St. Andrew. That's on the Euro. What does the GFS show? Something quite similar in terms of the location, maybe sections of Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Thomas and Portland. Skipping ahead to about 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 2 p.m. Jamaica time, we do see the blues that represent rainfall across sections of some eastern, central and western parishes, more so northern parishes. Notice we see more whites across the southern coastal areas, so definitely. And we see the same on the GFS, with more and so in the way of rainfall for sections of some eastern, northern and western parishes in Jamaica. So St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Thomas and Portland. Definitely some amount of rainfall for those parishes. Hopefully we get some of that rainfall spilling into sections of southern Manchester, southern St. Elizabeth, Clarendon, sections of St. Catherine, Portmore. We know you guys are dying for some amount of rainfall, but the rainfall is definitely going to be there across sections of Kingston and St. Andrew. And if we take a look at the accumulated precipitation forecast by the Euro model, this map is showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Monday. And we do see the consensus with the rainfall on the GFS model as well. Northern and the eastern parishes in Jamaica, more so the rainfall totals are going to be up to 0.52 of an inch across sections of eastern Jamaica. The most rainfall right there is up to 0.7 of an inch of rainfall across sections of some northern parishes according to the GFS model. But we do see the consensus, eastern, northern, western parishes definitely going to be getting in on that rainfall, and we're indeed grateful that we're going to be getting in on some rainfall for tomorrow. Considering that we're in the month of September, we usually see an increase in the amount of rainfall that we receive for the entire year for this month. and we're indeed grateful that we're going to be getting some of that. So hopefully it puts some kind of a dent in the hydrological drought that we're currently experiencing, that's causing the National Water Commission to impose some amount of restrictions. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let's focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So we can see that we have some amount of clouds bringing showers and thunderstorms to sections of southern Cuba, sections of Belize, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia as usual, even sections of Venezuela. Not so much rainfall across sections of Guyana, Suriname or French Guiana, not to mention the Eastern Caribbean at this time. They're actually getting a break. If we take a look at the northeastern Caribbean for today in terms of rainfall, we can see that most of the rainfall was confined to sections of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic associated with that tropical wave. So most of the rainfall was coming in from the southeast, so definitely sections of southern Puerto Rico, sections of the eastern sections of the Dominican Republic definitely gotten on some amount of rainfall for today. As relates to the Barbados radar, not so much in terms of rainfall, only a few isolated showers right there to this far south of Barbados, affecting maybe sections of Tobago right there, not so much across Trinidad at this time. As relates to the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see some amount of rainfall right there to the south of Florida, rainfall across sections of the Yucatan Peninsula, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras right there, just like what we saw on the satellite images. As relates to the temperature forecast, we can see anywhere from slightly above average to at least 3 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures across the Caribbean for Monday according to the Euro and the GFS models. As relates to the Saharan dust, we do see the Saharan dust starting to make its way across the eastern and central portions of the Caribbean basin, with the most intense dust right there across sections of the eastern Caribbean side of the Leeward and Windward Islands. But it's not that robust. If you want to see the vigorous, robust dust, that's definitely going to be in the darker shades of browns, and majority of that is located across Africa. As relates to the wave forecast, we can still see the weakest waves or the lowest wave heights across sections of the Western Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico, as indicated by those lighter shades of blues, with the darker shades of blues that represent up to 1.5 meter wave heights across the Central and the Eastern Caribbean. And we can still see that we have the waters being churned up by those leftovers of the tropical systems that were, churning up the water, causing 2 meter wave heights or more to the east of the United States. And we can see that even better on the wind forecast, with the 25 knot winds or more as indicated by the yellows, oranges and reds, while the rest of the Caribbean should be receiving up to 15 or 20 knot winds coming in from the east or the southeast, and we see that on both the Euro and the GFS models. As relates to the rain forecast for tomorrow, these maps from the Euro and the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Monday. And we do see that rainfall expected for sections of the Bahamas, sections of Cuba, Jamaica, as we mentioned earlier, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. Not so much rainfall in store for the Windward and Leeward Islands, maybe sections of Tobago, Trinidad, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, some slight isolated rainfall that is. Not so much rainfall in store for Suriname, Guyana, French Guiana at all. Eastern Venezuela not so much, but definitely Western Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, Belize. Some amount of rainfall definitely expected, even sections of the Yucatan Peninsula. And we see that on both the Euro and the GFS models. I know that when there's consensus like this, when both maps are showing something similar like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.